Blessed my people. Welcome back to the channel. You see me? Today we're gonna be talking about a very, very disturbing video that I see going around. You know what I mean? It's a news clip, and this clip is speaking to a female child, you know what I mean, 15 years old, who was allegedly sexually assaulted by a medical doctor, according to her mother. This is a very, very disturbing situation, people. You know what I mean? Something that no parent would wish on their child, no caring parent at all in this world. And that is a kind of behavior you would never expect from a medical professional, you know what I mean, a doctor of all persons, you know what I mean? You expect doctors to be of a certain standard in life, you know what I mean? You don't expect a low bite kind of behavior from doctors. But first and foremost, we have to all remember they are human beings just like any other human being. And a lot of persons have their own sick mentality, even though they are of a certain profession. It's massive people. But we're gonna take a little look at this particular clip. Afterwards, I will be giving my opinion on what I think should have been done in the initial stage to mitigate against that type of situation ever occurring. Going forward, parents should ensure that they follow my advice in order to prevent this from happening to their child. You know what I mean? So we'll take a look at the clip and I'll give my views at the end.
Mother of the 15-year-old who was allegedly raped by a doctor is speaking out this evening, saying she is living in fear. The doctor was reportedly working in Portmore, St. Catherine. As we hear from TVJ's Kirk Wright, the child and the family have been severely affected.
The mother, whose identity we cannot reveal, struggled to recount what she says was a horrifying experience for her daughter. The woman says late last month she took her 15-year-old daughter for medical attention and the doctor raped her in his office.
So, I said, oh, you know this? She said, Mommy, because I could feel him lying on me and breathing down on me. And every time I talk about this, I'm so angry. No, I needed to hear this from my baby. So I had to just, to brace myself for what she's gonna say. She said, he lied on her and he covered her eyes because he realized at some point in time that she was like semi-conscious. She said he kissed her and he was choking her at one point.
The 15-year-old, who was apparently sedated before the ordeal, told her mother she was still conscious.
She said, Mommy, I could hear him pulling up his clothes and the belt buckle when he's putting on his belt.
The mother reported the incident to the police, who have listed the doctor a person of interest. They are still trying to find him, but the mother says not long after reporting the incident to the police, the doctor called her.
I left the station and maybe about an hour after I left, my phone rang. I answered it, and to my surprise, it was the doctor that was calling me.
She says she was astonished that the doctor could have called so soon and has concluded that he was tipped off, hence the reason he cannot be found.
No, if it is a case where I go to the police, they are the only ones who knew of this. I went and I made my statement. I made a complaint of what is happening. No one else knew but the police. How would the doctor be calling me on my phone to tell me that he hears something? They called him. They called him. I have no trust in the police.
She says she had to make drastic changes in her life because there may be consequences for speaking out.
Since the news has been out and I've gotten calls that I'm to be careful because this doctor has done it already.
So peeps, you have seen the clip for yourself, right? So first and foremost, people, we're talking about a child, somebody that is under the age of 18 years old. So in this case, if the child is ill, something wrong with the child, and the mother takes that child to whether the hospital or a private doctor's office, you would expect that the mother be present whenever the doctor is attending to her child. You would not expect the mother to just send the child by herself, especially a female child, whether female or boy, because at the end of the day, the child cannot account for themselves because they are not responsible for themselves. So whatever the medical situation is, whichever doctor it is, the mother is supposed to be present, because even as it relates to certain investigations, as it relates to children, they cannot be questioned outside of the presence of their parent or their legal guardian. So you would expect that legal guardian or parent to accompany that child to the doctor. So the doctor would communicate with the parent as it relates to what is taking place with the child. Unless it's a very, very serious emergency type of case, where the child has to be rushed to the theater for some emergency surgery and so on and so forth. But just a doctor visit, you would expect the parent to be present. I am not here to throw blame on anyone or to put down anyone. I'm just saying it to prevent a future occurrence of a situation like this. Because, peeps, remember, all of what is being said are just allegations, not proven in the court of law as yet. So, based on the allegations, the female child went into the doctor's office and was obviously drugged. And that's the reason why I'm saying to myself, why did the parent choose to send the child by herself? That must have been a very, very traumatic situation, especially if it is a child who was never engaged in certain type of activity before, if it's the first time. And for the first time in her life, it be a situation like that where she was drugged, but she was not drugged to the point where she was fully unconscious. She could basically see what going, but maybe she never have the strength, to really defend herself or to make up or to push or to, or to make her scream. But I'm saying, people, you as a parent must be present, not because the person is a doctor, you are going to take it for granted that, okay, this person is trusted and this person will have my child's best interest at heart. You cannot take that for granted, people. You have to ensure that you are present. And I'll keep on reiterating that fact. A child is not responsible for himself or herself. A parent needs to be present. And it is possible that situations like these have happened before. Some children are scared to talk about certain things, a few of them will come out and say that this happened, What if she was drugged, and when she was drugged, the drug actually knocked her out fully, that she couldn't see or hear nothing at all. She just wake up and, when she wake up, she in the doctor office and so on and so forth, and she just come out, she don't know what happened. Then it would have happened and it wouldn't come to light now. You understand, people? This allegation would not be going around now. And as it relates to the aspect where the mother is saying that she made a report and she gave her statement to the police, then she received phone calls afterwards from the alleged offender that he heard about what is happening and so on and so forth. You see, people, what we all have to understand, if an individual gives a statement to the police about a person, the police have to take certain action as it relates to apprehending the suspect. It would not be a situation where the person comes in, give the statement, and the statement will be swept under the rug. An investigation will have to be launched. And as a part of the investigation, the suspect would need to be accosted and interviewed. That's a part of the investigation also. You understand, people? So the police trying to apprehend this person may be the reason why this person became knowledgeable that a report was made against him. And if that was the only person he had essayed within that time, then that would give him reason to know that that is the individual he should call. That is a very, very bad situation, when a person is trying to intimidate a witness. That is even a bigger problem, you know what I mean, to add to the essay allegation that is there already, you know what I mean. Once you try to intimidate a witness, a big problem that same way. So whilst I cannot swear for no one, you get me, people, because you know people, but I'm saying it can be a situation where the police try to apprehend the doctor, you know what I mean, whether them go in business place, go in residence, you know what I mean, to inquire about him, and possibly he was not there, and then he received the information that the police is trying to find him. That could have caused that alleged perpetrator to want to intimidate the lady for her to drop the case against him. But as I said, people, this is a very, very traumatic situation. One can only imagine what this child is going through. But people, in future, just ensure that whenever you take your child to any medical practitioner, you know what I mean, any institution, any organization, remember, a child cannot represent him or herself. The parent has to be a part of anything pertaining to the child. It's not just a situation where a child would go in, come out and tell the mother that this is what happened, and the mother gotta just work with what the child says. And I mean, the mother should be there, protect their child, because that is the job of a parent, you know what I mean, to protect your children. But anyways, peeps, you can leave your views in the comment section, so you can like, subscribe, and share. And we over here at Wildlife Gully, we don't support no former sexual offenders, no time. You understand, people? Anyways, peace.